Wi-Fi signal. It's just with the broadband. It keeps dropping out, just dropping out. So I've just been trying to get a sort of consistent signal. I'm on 4G at the moment, so I'm not entirely sure how good that is, because I figure I figure that if we're on Wi-Fi, it may just keep coming out. So this might be the most reliable, though I'm not entirely certain how good it is. Let me have a look. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, that's not good. I'm all broken up. Okay, I'm going to try going back to Wi-Fi for a second. This is going to be a bit patchy. Is that working? That is better for now. It could well drop out again. So anyway, apologies. Morning, Faith. Morning, Julian Barras. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. It's such a pain. So before anything else goes wrong, I think we just have to quickly say, fuck off Friday. Yeah, just fuck off Friday. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How art we all? Are we all good? Are we all fine? Are we all dandy? I'm slightly stressed because we've had boilers go down, we've had broadband go down, and the only thing that hasn't gone down is my coffee. Loving your top. It's my Dennis the Menace top, or as some say, my Freddy Krueger top, or as some say, my Dennis the Menace top. So guys, it's Friday. Yeah, BBC Quiz of the Week at the end. Woohoo! Sing a song of sixpence. You know what? There's a load of shit in the news, which is why sometimes it's all right just to say, what did you watch on the telly last night? There was the new Emily Blunt series, The English. Didn't watch that. It's supposed to be very good, though. It's supposed to be interesting. About an English woman, I think, who befriends a Native American Indian, etc., etc., etc. Was that The King and I? Was that Yul Brynner who went, etc., etc., etc.? Oh, God, that really hurt. I was dancing like crazy on Instagram last night. You know why? Because the missus was out, which meant I could just play music. I'm not saying she doesn't let me. It's just that, you know, sometimes when you live with other people in an open plan sort of place, you can't. It's as simple as that. Black Panther is released today. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This is a big deal. This could be the biggest opening movie since COVID hit. So it's a huge deal. Obviously, we'll be watching it and reviewing it on the channel. It's a massive deal. It's a tentpole and culturally massively significant, and also incredibly poignant because, of course, Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away. After, you know, in between films. So it's going to be an emotional watch as well. Nanny Di, hello Nanny Di in the room. Nanny Di in the room. Well, she's not in the room, because if she was in the room, we'd all know, wouldn't we? So, hey there, Unsolved Cases and News. I binge watched Love is Blind Season 3. Steph Harlow. Maddie said that a friend of hers said that actually we need to watch it. Yes. See, my mum doesn't understand this sort of crack for the eyes, I call it. Below Deck, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, even the Kardashians, though I lose interest in that a bit when it's on. It's crack for the eyeballs, whereas my mum likes to watch things like Strictly Come Dancing, which, you know, with all due respect, I had vague interest because Kay was in it, obviously. It's my idea of hell. Just in terms of viewing, I'm not saying it's not a good show, but it's just like, it's like that scene from A Clockwork Orange, pinning my eyeballs open and forcing me to watch it. I'm like, no, I just can't bear the sequins, I can't bear the smiles, the grins, I just can't bear it. It's not my thing. So whereas my mum likes that, I like all that other Hey You stuff. Morning, Stacey Randall, how are you, my darling? I'm watching The Crown at the moment, Lee. Yeah, see, we don't know what to do about that because it's such an enormous commitment. It's got to that point, isn't it, where I think streamers are going to have a problem. Let's get to that point where you kind of go, don't want to give this 10 hours, don't want to give that 12 hours, don't want to give, hi, Darren boy. Well, you know, oh, Christ. You know what? I won't. Dancing is good, Mum, but not like that. Oh, my nan used to watch it. What was it just called? Come Dancing. Was that what it was called? couldn't call it that now, could you? Was it just called Come Dancing in the 70s, 80s, and it used to come from Blackpool Tower? Oh, Christ, I couldn't stand that. I used to sit there sweating with embarrassment. Awful. Tina Colville, looks like you've been... If anyone's been blocked on Instagram, there will be a reason, but you can inquire via Michelle. I'm not too sure why, but we have adjudicators and what have you checking for aggravating or what would you call it, shit-stirring behaviour. So I'm not suggesting for a minute that that has been the case with you, but something's obviously flagged up. We have quite robust procedures, I'm afraid. Our freezer door is open because the whole fridge... Oh, well, there you go. Boiler, broadband, and fridge. Electrically going through a lot of grief here. Tina, I'm not suggesting you have, but obviously something's flagged up on Instagram. Obviously something's flagged. I don't know what it is. I literally don't know what it is. I'm going to watch today Black Panther Nenad. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Hilary Daly. It's just a popularity show, not voted for the talent. Hilary Daly. Strictly Dancing. Absolutely. Hi, Ellery. Morning, Kerry J. Williams. Yeah, batches of cards are all going out, so don't fret. There are delays. It does say that there will be delays. It is quite time consuming. So, but they are all coming out. Having technical issues here too, Mark. It seems to be one of those days. It seems to be one of those days, doesn't it? Darren, yeah, the passing of Aaron Carter was tragically sad. Watched Handmaid's Tale season finale, Darsky. There's so much stuff. So much stuff. There's an email beneath, Tina. There's so much stuff that I don't think I've ever seen your name on here, Tina. That's weird. There's so much stuff to watch, isn't there? So much stuff to watch. I just, sometimes it's just too hard to squeeze it all in. Anyway, the biggest story that I'm talking about this morning is David Walliams. Has anyone heard about the David Walliams story? Isn't that weird? David Walliams. Well, it's not weird, it's just awful. So David Walliams was recorded making derogatory remarks about Britain's Got Talent contests. He was on a hot mic, as they call it, or a microphone. We're going to talk about that, Mum. He was on a microphone. His microphone was left open. It was recording. Walliams, who is described as one of the UK's best... I'm going to be really honest about this. I've never been a particular fan of David Walliams. Now, I thought Little Britain was kind of its time. It was fun and all that. But I've never David Walliams has always given me the EBGBs. I don't know why. There's nothing about him. It's just I just feel, you know how certain people you feel comfortable watching, and there are some that just make me feel a bit, and he makes me feel a bit, He's okay in small doses. He was funny in Little Britain. I just haven't found him funny since. Anyway, David Walliams, whilst they were recording auditions, he described it's not good. He described one contestant as a CUNT. This is off, not broadcast, off camera, but on a mic that recorded it. And he described a woman who performed as she thinks you want to FUCK her, but you don't. The offensive remarks were made during a recorded audition at the London Palladium. What was this? One of the incidents captured there's a transcript that the Guardian got hold of, and in some of the light-hearted banter with the judges, he said Walliams described someone as a CUNT 3 times. 3 times. His comments were picked up by microphones, but one of his defences, one of the things that he said to defend himself is this was a private conversation. Well, and that's what I wanted to discuss with you today. This comes up a lot, doesn't it? What people text to each other, what people have seen in text. We talked about it with Gavin Williamson, what was said, what was alleged to be said, When is stuff in jest? How rude or shocking can you be when you're talking to a friend? Does it matter that you say awful? I mean, we can't have the thought police, can we? We can't have people running around saying you can't say that even to someone that no one else can hear it. But I think if you're sat on a panel and you're leaning over and you're talking to each other, even if your microphone's down, you are in a work environment, no? I mean, he does say that it was private. He said, regarding the female contestant, this is exactly what the transcript says. Walliams remarked after her performance was over, "She's like the slightly boring girl you meet in the pub that thinks you want to F her, but you don't." He then reiterated, "She thinks you want to F her, but you don't." He then added, he knew his mic would pick it up and end up in the papers, "All press is good press after all." I don't know about that, my little pianist. He then added, "I know she's just like, oh, fuck off. I was saying she thinks you want to F her, but you don't. It's the last thing on your mind." But she's like, "Yeah, I bet you do. No, I don't. I had a bit of a boner, but now it's going. It's now shriveled up inside my body." Walliams is, the production company behind it says that Walliams' comments were private. Yes, his language was inappropriate. And he's been told that, you know, he should do better in the future. Discuss. What do we think of that, guys? What do we think? Russ Ouch. When you're in the public eye, it's something you have to be careful about saying when mic up. He's in his professional manner. Elliot Gonzalez, public or private, it's not professional, is it? Especially when you're admired by families and there's an audience there who could hear. That's my thinking. I mean, it might have been a private conversation on the judging panel when they weren't recording, but it was still happening in a work environment, and so to that extent is unprofessional. Everyone is being cancelled, said Andrea Crash, no matter what is said or not said. You know what? We are so anti the idea of constant cancellation, but I do sometimes think, you know, this, I don't know why, there's just something very vivid about this. I suppose the thing that makes me, as another one of his sick jokes, just not funny. I mean, I suppose one of the things about David Walliams and Matt Lucas is that a lot of their humour takes it right to the edge. And so in a sense, I'm surprised it didn't come out with the defence of, oh, that's my sense of humour. But obviously it's landed badly in a sense in this. I think that would have been a better defence, to be fair. What do you think, guys? Let's ask you a question. Should Walliams be punished for his comments? And by that I mean, should he resign? Should he be fired? Should he be cancelled? Anything. I don't mean punished as in, you know, slapped on the wrist or given the cane or whatever it was. That, God, did anyone used to get told to get the cane? Our headmaster at school, when I threw a brick at Stuart Wilson's brother, he did that on my head with his knuckles. Sophie R, there's a video of the official Britain's Got Talent YouTube channel titled "Anton Deck Can Hear Everything." It reveals how it happened. Very interesting. And Sophie R, there will be a Weekly Rushes landing. I find Noel Fielding on the Great British Bake Off a bit too much at times. Yeah, I mean, FPL Fozzie, all of his jokes are near the mark. Absolutely. I mean, jokes are meant to be, you know, some jokes are meant to be near the mark, and his are too. But if you're on a family-friendly show, that sort of language shouldn't be flying around at all, should it? Christos, yes, very derogatory remarks. Personally, never found him entertaining, nor being a fan of him. Peculiar and curious character. Why would someone make such remarks? What's the point, even in private? Angela Thompson, not good for him. We've all said stupid off-the-cuff things. Still working, shouldn't have said it. I don't think he should be sacked, Russ, but I think he should apologise and learn from those mistakes. Well, he kind of has. Representatives kind of have. Tony Marie Cleveland, we're talking about David Walliams' entirely inappropriate comments whilst theoretically not recording, but he was still on what's called a hot mic or a live mic. A little bit like that moment when Gordon Brown called someone something when he got in the car. Jenny Scam, I wonder, this is interesting, I wonder what other celebrities have been saying. Is it in just his language? It's funny, actually, I'm working on something for Nadia at the moment, which is about a presenter who is not all she seems. the public thinks she's all lovely and fluffy, but she's not all she seems. Richard Steph put future contestants off going. They're putting themselves out there for that. It's a good point. It's a good point. Mind you, but is the hunger for fame so extreme that they'll tolerate being called terrible names by him? Rhys Roberts, he's been caught up in a racial tirade of jokes before that upset Alicia Dixon, who had to have a real tough word with him. Yeah, he's had a few run-ins and issues, hasn't he, in terms of his comedy and race issues. Imagine how it feels for the people on stage. Faith Goodman. Nenad Lukic, I don't even know who he is. Kind of lucky. I mean, I've always found, I mean, I know you shouldn't, but I don't know. He unsettles me. I mean, I don't know whether it's the characters he played in Little Britain, but he unsettles me. Christ, that's acrid today. So yeah, that's David Walliams. Slurs and insults. What's going to happen? Oh, Nanny Di comes off the fence. I sat near him in the theatre once. Where are you? You can say this. I sat near him in the theatre once, and he's a dick. Mum! God almighty, you're putting it right out there. Comments just not funny. Deborah R. I think you're possibly right. It's interesting, this, isn't it? Deborah R. Oh, where have you gone? Deborah R. Where are you? Deborah R. That was a good comment as well. Oh, Deborah R. Oh, this is slow. Deborah R. I think you were saying something along the lines of he thinks he's more important than the other people. Louise N. He's no role model. If you read his kids' books, awful, classist, misogynistic, racist books for kids. Really? Wow. Okay. I mean, I have to say, I've read one of his books. I've read some of his books to the kids, but I don't think they're as good as everyone makes out. And I also certainly don't think he's the new Roald Dahl. I mean, that's how he's often positioned, isn't he? Rachel Key, I've always seen him as being really nice. Now he's seen for his true colour. Well, Nanny Di just puts it out there, bang, between the eyes. Don't mince your words, Mum. Terrible book, says Alison Barber. Sharon Goods, I know what you mean, Mark. So did the scenes in Little Britain are unsettling. Yeah, anyway, well, he's apologised. I mean, or representatives of his have apologised. A spokesman for Simon Cowell and the co-producers of Britain's Got Talent said, "We were unaware of the alleged conversation until contacted by The Guardian. And whilst it's not suggested Simon heard the alleged remarks, we can confirm he did not. Walliams' remarks about contestants are likely to raise questions about his conduct. An ITV spokesperson said a duty of care towards participants was of paramount importance." Yeah, I mean, it's a real issue. You know, again, one of the things broadcasters need to be careful about is that sense that creeps into presenters, and I've known it in a few, where there's an us and them attitude. You know, I think many people who work in TV and showbiz and all that kind of stuff in front of the cameras forget that the crucial aspect that puts them there, a bit like us with you, is the audience. And if you treat the audience with disrespect, you know, it will bite you on the bum. It will bite you on the bum. And, you know, and even to some extent, I would argue, just make more of an effort to hide what you really think, if that's what you really think, which isn't pleasant. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so that's David Walliams. Trumpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Trumpty Dumpty had a great thought. Apparently, Donald Trump is still spitting feathers. He's absolutely furious with the midterm elections. Got to build a wall. He's trying to build walls everywhere. Got to build a wall. Rob de Sanctimonious. Rob de Sanctimonious. I know stuff about you. I know stuff about Rob. Rob is a bad guy. I liked him yesterday, but I don't like him today. He's a bad guy. Rob, Robbity Rob, Rob de Sanctimonious, don't you be running. I want to win. I want to be president. Oh no. Oh God, my mouth is like a cat's anus. So Donald Trump is spitting feathers. And obviously what's happening in the States is Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, looks like he could be a really good candidate to lead the Republican Party. And Trump obviously is shitting himself because Donald Trump's a winner. I'm a winner. I win. I don't lose. You're fired. You're fired. Goodbye. You're fired. And so he's not used to this. He's not used to this, is he? Because so now he's actually saying to Rob de Sanctimonious, Rob, you've got to stop. You've got to go away. You've got to go quiet. Otherwise, I'm going to phone your wife and I'm going to tell him about that strange party you went to. Do you remember? he's gonna be, you know, Rob DeSantis. Rob DeSantis doesn't run his mouth like Trump. I did hear him say the other day, my pronouns are a patriot and someone who kicks ass. Christ. So I think the Republican... So Donald Trump has got a battle on his hands now. So obviously he's going to have to... It's a bit like the leadership campaign for the Conservatives. Him and Rob DeSantis hasn't declared that he's going to run. But unless Trump does something awful to Rob... Is it Rob? Yeah, not Rob. No, Ron, sorry. Unless Donald Trump does something awful to Ron... Ron. don't run, Ron. Unless he does something awful to Ron DeSantis, he could be out. So I think that's good. He's got a bit of wall. He's going to have to build a wall to stop Ron getting over it, if you know what I mean. So there's lots of people getting into all sorts of trouble. You're wearing your beanie jumper. I'm wearing my beano jumper. Yeah. Do run, you do run. Hey, you do run. Bay, you do run. You do Humpty Dumpty, Trumpty Dumpty. Anyway, the Rupert Murdoch-backed press, which traditionally Fox News and all that was way big. Don't forget, I think what took Trump into power was the fact that all of the right-wing media kind of supported him. And now we have a situation where they're all kind of saying that Ron DeSantis is the man. Who the man. And there we go. So DeSantis creeps me out, says my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean he's a better choice. Do you know what I mean? So here's the thing. But yeah, the front of the New York Post was running with the title Trumpty Dumpty had a great fall. So there's very much a feeling, could Trump have had his moment? Thing is with Donald Trump, though, when he's down, he's up, or he gets up and he kicks ass. That's the problem. So that's Donald Trump. Now, come on, we've all been wanting to get there. Who watched I'm a Celebrity? If you're not into I'm a Celebrity, obviously, you know, don't watch now. But who watched I'm a Celeb and saw Matt Hancock, our former health secretary, second appearance and second challenge? I mean, okay, whatever you think of him, whatever you think of Matty Matt, in the challenge, don't you? I mean, he got 11 out of 11. I mean, within the confines of this show, he needs to do to turn around, let's say, maybe not the nation, but to turn around the campmates, he's kind of delivering on it. And it was a tough challenge. So I'm going to ask a question again. Does anyone remember, what the question was, the terms of the question, wasn't it? Do you feel sorry? Oh, am I going? Hang on a minute. I think I'm going. Has it gone? Has it gone? Heading over to 4G. Yeah, I think I've gone. Yeah, I think the Wi-Fi. It's dropped out. So I'm presuming and hoping you can still see me in some capacity up there. I'm gonna have to wait for it to come back here. That's really quite frustrating. And there's a huge time lag on your comments up there. So so until this does come back, I won't be able to see your comments. Yeah, that's frustrating. What was I talking about? Yeah, so Matt Hancock, if you can hear me, I presume you can still hear me. Ow, just scratched my eye. I thought you did well, and I was about to ask the question, have you softened in your attitude towards Mr. Hancock? Is the mission of making him seem more human? Or, you know, like the Merchant of Venice, the idea that, we could be back. You can hear us. Okay, you can hear me. Is the idea that, the idea was that he wanted to show a human side, his human face. Oh, look, here we go. LN. Yes, I can see and hear you. And no, I'm not softening towards cock. Still gives me the creeps, says Gloria Chesham. Right, let's see if we can get the poll out whilst we've got signal. Have you softened in your attitude to Matt Hancock? There you go. That should be up now. He needs to make an apology. That's the only way he can get a small bit of forgiveness. Well, I popped in the title today, I was in love, because, was it Baba was asking him about the fact that he was grabbing booty, to quote Baba. He was like, I never thought a man like you would grab booty. And, you know, he was kind of, you know, embarrassed by that, Matt. But he said he was in love. I mean, does that make, okay, forgetting the rights and wrongs of it, does him being in love, does that soften it at all? Does that soften it? Does he have children? Can't stand the man, says Anne Murray. Feeling uncomfortable with the bullying in camp, they were happy to eat the food he won for them, Jackie Vellino. It's funny, I was talking to someone yesterday, talking to a friend yesterday, about the struggles when if you've got empathy for any, I can't stand any kind of bullying. So, you know, I've sort of been on the edge of my seat. And I thought Sean Walsh, though I know everyone says he's a liar and all that kind of stuff, I thought Sean Walsh was sort of, you know, kind of honest when he said, you know, the guy what I had presented in front of me was an okay guy. Do you know what I mean? Faith Goodman, yes, but hope it isn't going to be Matt Hancock show and we continue to see. That is a good point, Faith. That is a good point. It could become the Matt Hancock show. He's now got to eat. And mind you, it's going to be Matt Hancock and Boy George gagging over anuses. Never thought I'd say that sentence. But there could be some anus gagging. Though Boy George, brilliantly, is a vegan. So can you gag on the anus of a courgette? Is there any vegetable that has an anus or bollocks for for Boy George to chew on? Courtney Richardson, everyone deserves a second chance. Matt Hancock had an impossible task during COVID. Could anyone else have done any better? Here's a thing. Here's a thing. We talked in one of our earlier lives about whether Boy George should be given a second chance and all that kind of thing. After all of his, you know, his battery or kind of, you know, him sort of assaulting and imprisoning someone, you know, in handcuffs. And there was a very resounding sense that we should give him a second chance. So if we can give Boy George a second chance, is there capacity to give Matt Hancock a second chance? Or is Matt Hancock's, though it's not necessarily an official crime, or is Matt Hancock's ink pad so much more severely blotted than Boy George's? Do you know what I mean? It's interesting though, isn't it? You could, oh no, it's all right for Boy George. No, I don't think we can forgive him. It's the Chicago Cubs. It could be a Domino's hat, couldn't it? Anne Murray, he's not bothered about the people. He should be working for his people. It'll all be about the vomit fruit for Boy George. Got to admit, Christos, his resilience in doing the task was pretty high. See, I don't know, maybe I'm too forgiving a person. I always end up wanting, that's not to say that what he did was right or that he's not answerable. I think what would really help him is if he just said, look, I know how it appeared. I was one part, this is what you need to say. I was one cog within an enormously complex governmental system that was messed up in some ways, working it out as we went along. It was an unprecedented challenge. We made mistakes. I made the biggest mistake I could, and I resigned. I think because he was trying to say at one point, you know, I think the way he said it wasn't good, wasn't it? He said, well, I fessed up. I fessed up and I resigned. It's about more than that. It's about more than that. Do you know what I mean? He's not sorry though, Gabrielle. He thinks he is a great person. Yeah. I'm pretty certain, Julie Everts, there is a courgette anus out there somewhere. Boy George went to prison, did community service for his crime. Maggie N, as one who's, here we go, this is important. As one whose mum died in April 2020 with COVID in a care home and had 10 at the funeral, I just want to see some proper remorse. Maggie N, I'm so sorry for your loss and I'm so sorry for your experience. And I'd like to ask you, that's interesting, proper remorse. If he was to show some humanity or warmth or almost, if we were to see or feel an aspect of regret and understanding, I think the British population are quite forgiving. And I think even what you're saying there is even in your extreme circumstances of loss, even you would feel, okay, well, it's not going to bring my mum back. It's not going to change things, but it would go some way to something. Now, I don't know if any of you watched yesterday's Coffee Moaning. I've got this thing where I sense that what we could be reading, maybe it's the empath saying, oh, you know, look for the... Could that aspect of him that seems unemotional or unsympathetic... shall I pop back over... I'm going to pop back over Wi-Fi. Of him that reads or presents to us as unemotional or unengaged or whatever, could it be because he doesn't actually understand human emotions in the same way? Could it be that? Now my chat's gone. I don't know if this is so annoying. I can't begin to tell you. Okay, going back to 4G. A message from our internet provider that there are issues in the area. So I tried to go back to Wi-Fi, so I've come back onto. Elliot Gonzalez, the danger is that we soften towards him, still don't think he should be in there. That laugh. Why doesn't he leave and donate his fee to the NHS? He will be able to lie. The mole proved that. He's able to lie. The mole proved that. I didn't think I could watch him, but I can. Still don't think he should be there and don't like the weasel. Okay, fair dues. Fair dues. I literally can't. At the moment, I'm afraid the quiz of the week is in danger because I cannot get any Wi-Fi through to my laptop at the moment. So there's going to be a slight delay up here. Another fun story. So that's Matt Hancock. Matt Hancock. Another fun story today was in India, a herd of Indian elephants found and drank alcohol made by local villagers, and they all collapsed after their binge. There was something about this on a Friday that I found quite charming. Charming? Binge drinking elephants. The elephants had stumbled across gigantic clay pots of something called mahua, which is a traditional and potent liquor that inhabitants of a village in the state of Odisha, eastern India, make from the flower of the Madhuka longifolia tree. There you go, a little bit of a lesson there. Residents had left the alcohol in the jungle to ferment, but when they got there, the pots were broken and 24 elephants, including babies, were sprawled on the ground fast asleep. One of them had left their iPhone right next to them with the message they'd been sending their mates 3 miles away. It's amazing what elephants get up to, isn't it? So elephants have previously been known to gorge on mahua if they find it. So elephants, it's kind of not surprising, isn't it? Alcoholic drinking with trunks. With a trunk. That's fun. Oh, you're back over here. Bet they had an absolute blast, Erin Bullimore. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know elephants could use Instagram or WhatsApp. But apparently they can. I love elephants too, says Unsolved Cases and News. Poor elephants. Well, yeah, they were all in a heap. Go online and just look up drunk elephants India and you'll see a photo. Let's look at the poll here. Have you softened in your attitude to Matt Hancock? Almost a third of you have said you have, but the vast majority of you haven't. If someone can make a note of that one too, we can see by the end of the series whether we have got there or not. So here we go. Let's see if we can do the quiz of the week. Should we do the quiz of the week? Let me lose that just for a second, and let's just bring that up, and let's just do that. And let's do a bit of this. There you go. So, question one. Question one. Let's take that off. Let me just pull this over here. Let me just do this. Let me just do that. Let me do that. Let me do that. Yeah, okay, done this. I want to be able to see you at the same time because there's such a delay up there. It's infuriating. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. There we go. Whoa. There we go. Okay. Okay. Here we go. How are we all? All good? Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So question one. Let's go. As the Republicans made modest gains in the US midterm elections, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis emerged as a serious challenger to Donald Trump. If you've been listening to Coffee Moaning, you'll know this. But what nickname has Trump given Ron DeSantis? Is it A, Ron DeSanatorium, B, Ron DeSanctimonious, or C, Ron DeSanta Claus? They're all quite good, aren't they? Which of those nicknames? Is it A, Ron DeSanatorium, B, Ron DeSanctimonious, or C, Ron DeSanta Claus? And I think if you've all been listening, you'll all know you're absolutely right. It's B, coming through thick and fast. It is Ron DeSanctimonious. I keep calling him Rob for some reason. Question two. A hacker pleaded guilty to stealing Bitcoin worth $2.9 billion from the illegal Silk Road marketplace. But where had the US police found some of the stash? So where did the US police find some of the Bitcoin? Was it A, in a popcorn tin in a bathroom cabinet? Was it B, in his bin? Or C, inside a chicken in his freezer? Where did they find some of the £2.9 billion worth of Bitcoin? Was it A, in a popcorn tin in a bathroom, B, in his bin, or C, inside a chicken in his freezer? It's coming. It will be coming, Julie. It will be coming, I promise you. A, yes, in a popcorn tin in a bathroom cabinet. You're absolutely right. Question three. Former South Korean President Moon Jae-in said he would relinquish a gift from North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The offering from Pyongyang is technically state property, but what was it? What is it? A, a commemorative summit coin, B, a Korea unification flag, or C, 2 white Pun-san dogs. What is the South Korean president going to give up or give away or give back that he got from the North Korean? A, a commemorative summit coin, B, a Korean unification flag, or C, 2 white Pun-san dogs. Gloria Chesham is saying B, a Korean. I thought I've gone for a Korean unification flag, if I'm honest. Ellen Jane says C. Carol Aviard, Christine, Olivia, CCC, Claire Hayward. It's 2 white Pung-san dogs. Question 4. Statues of Greco-Roman gods dating back about 2,500 years were unearthed in the Italian province of Siena. But in what had the 24 bronzes been preserved? What were these 24 statues preserved in? Was it A, clay, B, water, or C, wine? Was it A, clay, B, water, or C, wine? What were these statues of gods preserved in? A, clay, B, water, or C, wine? Lots of you saying C. I want it to be wine. I want it to be wine. Unfortunately, it's a bit boring. It's water. It's water. They've been preserved in the thermal waters beneath the muddy ruins of an ancient bathhouse. Question 5. Why did Norway's Princess Martha Louise relinquish or give up on her royal duties? A, the king announced he was slimming down the royal family. B, she renounced the Lutheran state religion. Or C, she wanted to run an alternative medicine business. Why did Norway's Princess Martha Louise relinquish her royal duties? A, the king announced he was slimming down the royal family, a little bit like here. B, she renounced the Lutheran state religion. Or C, she wanted to run an alternative medicine business. I'm going for C on this one. I'm going for C. A lot of you going for A, slimming down. B, religion. Okay, Sarah Roberts says C. Diane Adderley, don't know lots of these. Okay, have a guess, Mum, if you don't know, have a guess. Christine Olivia B. It's C. She wanted to run an alternative medicine business. Homeopathy, maybe. Foxconn, the technology giant that makes iPhones for Apple, tied up a deal to jointly develop which of the following? A facial recognition search engine. God. B, pickup trucks. Or C, vaccines. Foxconn, the technology giant that makes iPhones, have tied up a deal to jointly develop which of the following? A facial recognition search engine. B, pickup trucks. Or C, vaccines. What curious question. I'm just going to run through that one. It's B, pickup trucks. Okay. Final question. Rapper Drake and collaborator 21 Savage are being sued for at least $4 million over claims they created a counterfeit issue of which magazine to promote their album, Her Loss? Is it A, Rolling Stone, B, Time, or C, Vogue? Which magazine did they create a counterfeit issue of to promote their album? Rolling Stone, Time, or Vogue? A, B, or C? Anna Charalumbus is saying A, Rolling Stone. Tricky Woo saying A. Nicola Higgins saying C. Elizabeth Millett, A. Christos Andrio, C. C, says Reese Roberts. It's Vogue. Who got 7 out of 7? I don't think anyone will have got 7 out of 7 today, unless you're an absolute ludicrous, sensationalist, kind of remarkable individual, which, of course, many of you are. So maybe some of you have. What's that? 2, Ruth. I think I got 2. I got 3 and I'm happy. Yeah, 5, April. That's good. 3, Miss Soph. You did. Shannon Pillsworth got 7. Well done. Bloody hell. Ali P, 4. Fiona Grockett, 3. Lorraine Foster, 4. Goodship Lollipop, 1. I fell at the second and never recovered. That's kind of like me, actually. Yeah, it wasn't a good one this week. 2 out of 7, Faith. All right, my darlings. Well, look, I'm going to head off. It's Friday. There's lots and lots of stuff. For members, there's a pre-recorded Sunday show landing this weekend. There's a Green-Fingered Hell landing at some point. Black Panther's going to be reviewed. There's weekly rushes coming. There's so much content coming on the channel this weekend. I can barely keep my pants on in one place. And if you're having a difficult Friday, just tell it to fuck off.